Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about something that this has been coming up sort of a lot just out of the blue lately in my calls, and so I think that it's important that we touch on this. I've touched a little bit on this in some of my videos here and there in regard to loving the twin, in regard to the love that is you, the frequency of love that is you, the frequency of love that is all of us, and kind of how that plays out when the ego gets involved. Looks like my camera's a little sideways. Sorry if it is. I got a new tripod thing. Anyway, so the thing that keeps crossing my coaching calls is this fear to love the twin. And it's interesting to me. So, you know, I talk now and then, and I certainly do a lot of my coaching. I'm not sure if I mention it as often in my videos, but it's really important that we have the awareness that, and this is why I speak a lot about the higher masculine, divine masculine, sacred masculine, the masculine within, the true masculine presence that is with you, guiding you, around you. A lot of feminines feel this from the beginning of the path, or they feel that somewhere midway in the path. Some feminines need to meditate in order to allow this energy to feel what this energy is, the truth of your higher masculine, the truth of you within. And they get that confused with the 3D physical masculine. And so when you're feeling all of this energy around you, you know, I have sometimes people will request one-on-ones, and one of the things that they want to talk about is how annoyed they are by feeling the energy of the twin with them all the time. And if they could just make the energy stop, if they could just make it go away, then maybe they would be okay, right? They could deal with this whole thing a little bit better. But the energy is always around them. They're constantly feeling their twin. They're constantly feeling the energy. It's really frustrating. It's really annoying. How can I shut this down? Or they actively are shutting this down, which I have talked about in other videos, closing the energy off, which I am not a proponent of at all. And so it's kind of this thing of like, I don't want to feel you, you know? I don't want to feel my twin. I just want this whole thing to stop. I just want it to end. So when we're in that place, have the awareness that the reason that you're feeling that way is because you're afraid. You're afraid. Let's just call it what it is, right? The pain body is afraid to allow love in. Certainly love in that it perceives, and then so you perceive as the ego mind, not that that is you, but the conditioning of the identification that you have thought is you is terrified of allowing a love like this to fully come in, allowing a love so big to fully come in. And it places that feeling of love, that feeling of emotion in the, I've gotten hurt before, this is a romantic relationship that would never work out anyway, this is completely one-sided, they're not showing up for me in the way that I want them to show up for me, or in the way that potentially other romantic partnerships have showed up for you in the past. Love equals pain. That's a big one that we've been taught, right? Love equals pain. If I allow myself to love someone, then therefore somehow that means somewhere down the line I'm going to get hurt by it, right? That's one of the biggest lies that we have been taught in humanity, in society, that love equals pain. The true essence of love has no opposite. The true essence of love is existence itself. I say this a lot. Love has no opposite. We have been taught that the opposite of love is hate, the opposite of love is fear, the opposite of love is indifference. Not true, right? Those are, again, conditionings that we have been playing out. And so we get so afraid when we feel the twin around us energetically that we don't know how to handle that. We don't know what to do with it. It causes us pain. It causes us heartache. We feel like, well, why am I feeling you all the time if you're not even showing up for me in the physical the way that I want you to? Or if you just said that you only want to be friends, or you just said that you don't want anything to do with me, or you just said you don't even know what this is and what this thing is, and I'm denying the whole thing, and now I'm feeling your energy around me all the time. Like, so what's the deal? Just leave me alone. You know, all of that inner dialogue, right, that's going around. So the thing is there's a huge difference between the truth of what love is, the truth of existence of love, of unconditional love, of the actual frequency of love itself, of the actual frequency of the love of creation itself, which is all of us, which is every possible thing that you could ever see. It flows through everything. It is the universal hum. It is the universal flow of all creation and of all life. Awakening, ascension, is bringing you back to that place, right? When I talk about inner union all the time, what we're really saying when we reach inner union, right? When we get into inner union, is that you are the embodiment of the love that you are again, of the love that everything is again. And you can feel it. It comes from within you, right? This is the union within. This is a million words that have gone throughout centuries of describing what that feeling is, of coming back home to source, God, creation, all that is the truth of who you are, the truth of existence. People call it inner union, people call it enlightenment, people call it samadhi, people call it nirvana, people call it so many different things, right? It's coming back into the embodiment, into the awareness, into the experience, and to the truth of the love that you are, that we all are, that is connecting all of us, right? So we compare that because we forgot what that was in order to experience the amnesic state and separation consciousness here. And we have been taught, learned, understood throughout that separation consciousness that love equals romantic love. Love equals platonic love. Love equals familial love. Love equals the love that we have for our pets, right? That love is all these different things, and it has all these different compartments. And that's how we have been navigating life, right? It's all fine and good. It's all part of that. So when we meet the twin, when we're going through the throes of this awakening thing with the twin, which is largely romantic, right? At least in the first beginning stages. And we feel this pull to them and we feel this draw to them. The ego translates that. The subconscious programming translates that. The emotional pain body translates that as romantic love, romantic partnership, intimacy, right? Which translates as whatever you have been experiencing up into that point through romantic partnership, which is why it's the program, right? Which is why it's going to be coming up and being in these places of romantic partnership has looked like X, Y, and Z in, up until this point in my life. My romantic relationships have looked like this, or I see love like this due to any sort of inner child wounding, all of that sort of stuff that you hear me talk about. And so again, us being so used to this entire reality as we have been experiencing it, we are feeling that when that energy comes around from the higher masculine, that we immediately think, okay, this is scary. I don't want this to be around. I don't want to feel you. I don't want to deal with you, all of those sort of things. Or if we don't feel that, we feel just pain, right? We just feel the pain of it, the pain of loss, the yearning of it, which is the same, it's the same thing. It's just wearing a different set of clothes. It's still coming up from fear. It's still bringing up some sort of pain within us that we are relating to love. So this is a huge, huge, huge part of what this path is. This path, this awakening, this type of spiritual awakening, which is what it is. There are lots of types of ways that we can awaken in this life. This happens to be one of them. And this one happens to be the pathway to healing that love that we have felt we didn't have, we were rejected from, we were abandoned by, we were unworthy of, all of the stuff, right? This is that type of path in so many ways. So I just want you guys to feel into the truth of the matter, which is that when you're feeling this energy around you, it's trying to come back home. It's trying to come back in. This is what is landing again. This is your awakening process. This is what is opening you back up to the remembrance that you are that love, that you are union, that you and the masculine are one, unified, loving, energetic field. That source, God, creation, all that is love. It is the experience, it is the expression of love, expressing itself everywhere, all the time. And these beautiful plants that are growing behind me, and my beautiful little sweet doggy boys that are over here beside me, those are expressions of love. We are expressions of love. Love doesn't have to be categorized in these certain ways, right? And that's a huge part of what coming back into oneness, interconnectivity, conscious romantic partnership, conscious platonic partnership is about. It's about moving back into the vibration of union with all, right? It's about the remembrance that love isn't scary, that I don't have to be afraid of love, that love doesn't mean that it's romance, that it's platonic, that it's familial. That love means it is the existence of everything. It's the creation of everything, including you. And so as you are awakening, this is a big part of that awakening, is you coming home to that love within. It's you remembering that love within. It's you remembering that you are a spark of God's source creation, all that is, which is love, which means you are love, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It's like when you're feeling that energy around you, the higher self isn't trying to upset you. It's not trying to make this thing feel scary. It's not your physical masculine trying to annoy you by throwing energy at you, right? It's not the higher masculine trying to get under your skin by being around all the time, right? That's not what it's for. It's trying to break your heart back open again, right? It's trying to come back in again. We have closed our heart chakras down in order to experience separation consciousness. It's just part of the drill. And awakening in this matter is opening your heart back up. And so when the love that is you, when the union that is you, when God's source creation is you, is coming back and saying, hey, remember who you are, remember what you are, and we have this energy around us, it's reminding you of that. It's reminding you that you are energy, right? That you are a spark of source, that you are an energetic being, that you are that. So we're feeling that all the time because it's cracking you back open, right? As I've said before, sorry, allergies are bad here, guys. As I've said before, we had to kind of, funnel ourselves down in order to experience this lower vibratory dimension, in order to experience separation. And a big part of awakening is moving that energy back up, right? We're cracking out of the cocoon again. We have been, experiencing this this lower density, vibration for a long time. But that's not what we are. We are expansive. We are energy. We are love. We are light. We are full. Our light bodies are massive. We just had to constrict everything to experience this. And so coming out of that constriction means breaking you back open again. It means breaking you out of separation consciousness. It means breaking your heart chakra back open again. It means feeling the cord between you and God again. It means feeling the cord between you and the twin again. It means feeling the cord that is connecting you to all things again, right? So that means that energetic field needs to continue to open. It needs to continue to widen. You need to continue to remember that you are consciousness experiencing itself in form. Consciousness is eternal. Consciousness is infinite. It has no beginning and it has no end. And that is you. That's what you are, right? So the ego really tries to confine things and define things and describe things and keep things in little packages and in separate boxes and all of that sort of stuff. But that's not what we are. That's not how we operate. And that's why you're feeling this energy around you all the time, trying to come back home, right? It's waking you up. It's showing you all the time, this is what you are. This is what you are. Remember, wake up. Let the love back in. Let the truth of what you are back in. Let the consciousness of what you are back in. We're waking up out of the illusion and out of the dream of constriction, of separation, of contraction. We are waking up out of that. And so it's the same thing that I say, you'll know if you're experiencing this path because it is relentless. It does not let up. And a lot of the not letting up is the energy field that you constantly feel, right? It's there by design. This entire path is perfectly orchestrated. It's perfectly happening by design, the way that we all have decided that this thing was going to play out before we incarnated into this lifetime. And a huge part of that is allowing yourself to love again, is allowing yourself to remember what love is again. And it's pulling yourself out of love means pain, or love means romance, or love means if I love you, that means I'm going to get my heart broken. Those are still separation consciousness. They're still coming from ego programming. That's what we are releasing, right? We're releasing this idea that love has an opposite. It doesn't. Love is existence. It's you. It's all of us. It's everything. And so in order to fully come back into the anchoring of inner union, you have to allow yourself to love again. And the thing is that even as I say that, I can feel the egos of other people going, oh, it's like, it's crazy how love has been basically kind of, distorted in this separation consciousness field. It is what it is. It's what we have been experiencing. It's fine. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. But it's like, even saying what I just said, I can feel that like awareness on some level, or the lack of awareness, I should say, on some level, of how the ego immediately steps to the forefront and tries immediately to start erecting all of these walls again, like to keep love out. Or to say, like I said at the beginning of the video, well, I'm not going to love my twin if they're acting like this, or I can't let this. It's not about the physical twin. It's about the love that is within you. It's about the love that is you. It's about the love that is the one energy that is you, right? This is one consciousness. There is no separation. And so we're afraid to love the physical twin because we think that they're not us. We think they're separate from us. We think that they have the power to hurt us. We think that their love can be taken from us. We think that they are in the driver's seat of how this whole thing is playing out, right? That's what we believe because that's what we have experienced, but that is not true. It's not true. The only reason that we're playing this out is so that we can have the reflection of how much we have blocked ourselves from the love that is the truth within us, as the one consciousness experiencing itself as two. Right? The truth of the matter is that you couldn't be loved any more than you are by the twin, or by God's or its creation, right? It's not even possible. The love is that infinite. It is that endless, right? It doesn't end. It has no end, zero end. It has no heartbreak. It doesn't exist. What we are, where we're from, what we're going back to, right? The massive collective consciousness shift that we are experiencing, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have these separation constructs of square pegs and round holes, and love hurts, and I'm trying to fit this thing into that box, but it won't work. I'm trying to like narrow myself down so that I can, appease this person, or I can fit into this romantic partnership, or I'm trying to make myself feel worthy again. So, my twin comes back and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't exist in inner union, because it doesn't exist in the truth of what you are. And so this is breaking you back open to the remembrance of the truth of what you are. That's why we're releasing all these programs, right? That's why all this stuff is coming up and it's pissing you off and it's annoying you. And I have all my calls that are like, I'm going up and down and inner union and out of inner union and blah, 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 right? Because the program doesn't want to release you from this. This is what we've experienced, right? It's just keep running. It just keep running in the background. And so until it is no longer the dominant energy in your field, which means until you're not giving it all your attention and all your energy and all the story anymore, it's going to still be having that voice that's going to be coming in and trying to knock you, out of alignment, out of resonance, out of balance, out of center, all of those sort of things, because it still believes. And so that means that you on some level still believe that love is all of these things, right? Love is the truth of what we are. Love is the truth of existence. This is how we are able, once we anchor into inner union, to have conscious partnership. It's how we're able to have sacred union with another, because we're moving from unconditional love now. We're moving from the remembrance and the truth of what we are again, which is true love now, which isn't separated love, which isn't love equals pain and hate and all that kind of stuff. It's just not going to be part of your frequency anymore. And a lot of that allowance, as you're anchoring more and more into neutrality, into inner union, is allowing the love that is around you to come in, right? Without the story, again, without the story, without the dialogue, without the narrative, without the it means this, without the definition, without the blah, 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 without the mind trying to tell you what it is. It's love is what it is. It's love. It's you is what it is. It's the love that is you that is trying to waken you back up to the love that is you, so that you let it in, and so that you start moving from that love within you again. And so that love starts being what you see in your external reality, because you are that. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Yeah, I see this come up a lot. And it's a natural part of releasing the ego conditioning and the subconscious programming of feeling this, fear and this pain around just allowing yourself to be loved. This is part of the receiving energy. It's part of coming back into the remembrance of the true divine feminine that is within you, not gender specific. The feminine within you is the receiver of love, right? The feminine within you wants to dance and play and revel and spin, right? And just receive and be that energy of fearlessness, right? She wants to be in flow. Right? She wants to be back in the universal hum of flow. She wants her heart to be back open again, right? And we, experiencing this reality, have to allow that. As I've said a lot of times, we are an active participant in a lot of ways on our awakening path. And there are going to be things that we hit up against that are scary to us, that are scary to the program, that are scary to the ego, right? And so when we hit up against those things, we have to have the awareness that that's what's afraid. It's the old conditioning that we have taken on that's afraid. But the higher feminine isn't afraid. She is completely in the free flow state. The higher masculine isn't afraid. The higher masculine is a very nurturing, supportive, loving field of energy, right? It's not toxic. It doesn't have any distortion. It doesn't have any of this like masculine thing that we keep hearing all the time. That's not the truth of what we are. It is what we experience in separation consciousness. But we have to allow these parts of us that we have had to like kind of abandon in order to experience this reality, we have to allow those parts of us to come back in. We have to allow those parts of us to come back home, which means we have to allow the love that we're feeling around us, right? That energy that's like, let me back in, I'm here, open back up, right? I know that feels scary on some level, but it's a big part of what this path is, and not like subscribing or defining or continuing to categorize as this love that you're feeling around you all the time as some external thing that has to do with how the twins showed up and how they didn't show up in the physical, right? As within, so without. You have to bring it back within. We have to be in inner union in order for that external physical reality to change and to shift. This is what we signed up to do. That's what we're here to do, right? And it's a beautiful path. It is. It's a beautiful path. But we have to have that awareness of what's going on in regard to energy so that we're not blocking ourselves off from the love that is us. So we're not blocking ourselves off from the energy that is us, right? From the consciousness that is us. And that's a lot of times what I see happen, is that we're afraid to let that in, right? The mind is saying all kinds of stories about what it thinks it is. The mind doesn't know what this path is. It doesn't. Right? This is why I'm always saying this is a surrender path. This is a free fall trust path. This is the awareness that the higher self that is you is guiding you every single solitary second. That energy that's around you all the time is by design. Right? It's not there to get under your skin or under your nerves or whatever. It's there for you to allow it to come back home to you, which means you have to open your heart. So that's what I have for you guys. I know the last couple weeks have been a little bit slow with videos. I'm trying to ramp it up a little bit. Holidays sort of slow things down. We got, a lot of other things kind of going on at this November, December kind of thing. So I'll do my best to be getting videos out. Nothing's wrong. I've had some emails asking me, is everything okay? Everything's fine. Thank you. I love you guys. Everything's fine. I've had a lot of things going on. So I'll do my best to continue to have more videos weekly coming out. So love you guys, and I hope that you have an awesome day.